Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We got a lot to discuss here, specifically for folks on Social Security Supplemental Income, SSI 2023, your benefits, saving money, and ultimately attempting to save more money, build wealth on this government subsidy, government stimulus aid fixed income program. I'm going to do something a little bit different in this video, and I'm going to ask you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel and give this video a like if you're interested in learning how to earn more money on these SSI, Social Security Supplemental Income Benefit programs, because throughout this video, I'm going to share with you a ton of information about the current money that you guys are receiving, the potential money that you may or may not get, delays in the program, cancellations, reductions, as well as future generations and how much they may or not receive. But most importantly, what's happening behind the scenes in Congress, Washington, D.C., with the lawmakers, the politicians, the Biden administration, the Social Security Administration, the SSA. I'm going to ask you guys to subscribe to the channel if this interests you. Give this video a like ahead of time because we have a lot to go through. If you're interested in that, please stick around. Now, we're going to get started here. And I have some plans, ideas, and solutions and strategies for people out there who are asking for answers to these questions. Like, Kevin, how can I build wealth on this fixed income? Now, let's get started. Social Security Supplemental Income 2023, new boosted $914 direct payments drop in just a few days. Now, you guys are going to want to stick around and see the exact dates on that. But before we do that, it says here that SSI recipients can look forward to their second increased payment next week. And the payment will go out on February 1st, more than a month after beneficiaries saw their last payments on December 30th. Okay, so it's like, well, where's my January check? Okay, well, folks, check this out. Here's why you didn't receive a check in January. Here's why SSI beneficiaries aren't getting a check this month, which is very important for people who are low on cash, who are low on funds, who are on this fixed income at this time of high inflation and, yes, a recession. And according to CNET here, it says that if you're a supplemental security income recipient who has been checking your bank account for your January check only to find no payment, you should know that this isn't a mistake, okay? Because SSI recipients receive 2 checks in December, so there won't be a check arriving this month in January. And you can expect a check to arrive for you in February. However, is this confusing? Yes. There are explanations to why this happened. We're going to cover that. So why did I receive 2 checks in December? The Social Security Administration did not make a mistake, folks. They did this on purpose and disperses SSI checks on the 1st of every month, unless the first day of the month falls on a holiday or a weekend. January 1st is a holiday, and that falls on a weekend as well. So the SSA sent the check out on the nearest business day, which was Friday, December 30. Social Security and Social Security Disability Income, SSDI recipients, on the other hand, received their first cost of living adjustment, COLA, increase in January. And if you're steadily asking, will I receive a January SSI check? Well, the simple answer, folks, is no, you will not. Since the SSA disbursed 2 SSI checks in December, SSI beneficiaries won't receive a January SSI check. Now, that means that you're still getting your benefits in total. It's just the frequency of which they disperse and distribute the checks and deposits are a little off schedule. But that doesn't really solve the problem, which is having money, having the ability to survive financially in these tough economic times, folks. Think about it. I want you guys to think about this right here as we talk. And strategy, planning, preparation. You guys may have seen the video I uploaded last night. Obviously, we have some submarine activity, some Russian submarine activity off the East Coast in the Atlantic Ocean. We've got a prepper channel out there that is providing information and coverage on this by way of some information and data and supposedly factual based information shared by another YouTube channel. Again, folks, these YouTube channels are great ways of earning income. They are very profitable. They're profit centers. And not only do we get a chance to communicate and connect, we also get a chance to increase our income, increase revenues, and build some substantial revenues and salaries and incomes and dollars, money to put in savings, to put into investments, to build further businesses because of this. So I highly encourage folks out there to get started. Please do. And if you got any questions, just let me know. I don't mind helping you guys. Now, with that being said, there are ways to circumvent certain systems. Okay, the prepper in that I mentioned earlier, he made a statement. I'm going to paraphrase this. Based on possibilities of conflict and increased levels of engagement of war, could be a result of the increased military infrastructure and the increased military artillery and the increased military inventory that the Ukraine has received, not only just, from other countries, but most importantly from the United States of America. The U.S. government has been sending billions upon billions upon hundreds of billions of dollars of resources to the Ukraine, tanks, helicopters, firepower, you name it, the list goes on and on. So they become a target, more so than they already were, by enemies looking to gain access to the resources that they are receiving from the United States and other countries included in NATO. But think about it, circumventing the system. We couldn't, as a country, necessarily send certain items and certain resources and certain funds and certain tools and utensils, etc. We couldn't send those directly to who we wanted to send it to if we really wanted to do that, hypothetically. But we can send it somewhere that we are allowed to, only for it to then be confiscated, taken, stolen, invaded, theft, to still accomplish the same goal of getting it from point A to point C. We just had to go through point B, if that makes sense. So I want you to think about that as I bring up this here, which says Congress won't lift the ban on savings for people on disability. Our government is clearly putting their foot down as to what they think about you and how they feel about you and how little they care about you. Okay. Now it says here that a bill to change supplemental security income's strict asset limit had bipartisan support, but not enough to become a law. And this is where it gets really disturbing. Lawmakers have decided not to change one of the federal government's most outdated welfare rules as part of a government funding bill. And it says that disabled Americans receiving monthly benefits from the Supplemental Security Income Program aren't allowed to have more than $2,000 in savings, or else the Social Security Administration docks their payments. I have so many problems with this, but I'm going to continue on and not get sidetracked here. Let's see it here. Senator Sherrod Brown and Rob Portman, both from Ohio, introduced a bill raising the asset limit to $10,000 for individuals and $20,000 for couples, but the measure has been omitted from end of year spending legislation that was its last chance to become law. So think about this, guys. Think about this. You're on this SSI, supplemental, Social Security supplemental income, and obviously it ain't enough to really survive off of. We know that. Yet they won't raise the savings limit. Even if they did, where do they think the money's coming from? It's not like you're going to have this extreme surplus in SSI income that you're going to sock away and save. All this means is they don't care about you, and they don't want you to have any possible chance of survival off of the system that literally is more difficult to survive on, if that makes sense. I hope that's sinking in. Senator Mike Crapo from Idaho, the top Republican on the Senate Finance Committee, which has jurisdiction over the Social Security Administration, said the measure lacked broad bipartisan support, partly because lawmakers viewed it as opening a can of worms. I don't understand how you couldn't have support from people wanting other people to save money. That doesn't make any sense to me. If it does to you, please comment down below because I don't get it. And it says that roughly 8 million Americans receive SSI benefits, which will max out at $914 per month next year. It's a separate program from Social Security disability insurance, which requires a work history and has higher monthly payments. So yeah, SSI, $914 a month. That's less than $12,000 a year. They dock you now if you have over $2,000 in savings as a single person, and there's no way that they'll raise it to $10,000. Even if they raise it to $10,000, where do they think this money's coming from? That's what we need to talk about. Building wealth on a fixed income, okay? And not losing your benefits or losing your benefits, one or the other. We'll talk about that. So applicants for SSI benefits must agree to let the government check their bank accounts to make sure they're poor. And I'm not making this up. This is right here, okay? I'm reading it to you word for word. Applicants for SSI benefits must agree to let the government check their bank accounts to make sure that they're poor and to tell the authorities if someone regularly gives them food. Food. Jesus Christ. The rules haven't been changed since 1989, and if the asset limit had kept pace with inflation, it would be nearly $5,000 today. Why hasn't it kept up with inflation? Why hasn't it kept up with inflation, especially with food being one of the highest, the strongest driving force behind inflation today, crushing American families living paycheck to paycheck, let alone you have to agree to let the government check your bank account and you can't receive food. Population control, World Economic Forum, maybe. They do say that the Social Security Administration will start to see funds run dry beginning 2033. That's not a long time from now, folks. It'll be here before you know it. And odds are, with the way that they spend money recklessly, it'll be sooner than that. That says Kathleen Romig, Director of Social Security and Disability Policy at the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, a liberal think tank, said it's a shame Congress will update retirement tax policies, but not a rule essentially prohibiting millions of poor people from saving money. I don't know why there's a rule against poor people saving money. That's the silliest thing I've ever heard of in my entire life. And I've heard some real silly shit before. So the omission of SSI asset limits is particularly unfortunate since the bill expands egregious tax breaks for those near or in retirement, like letting wealthy people wait until 75 before they are even required to touch their tax-favored retirement account. And this was a statement or a tweet that Romig wrote on Tuesday in a Twitter thread. It was a little bit of a tongue twister. Jesus. Now, Republicans supported changing the asset limit because it's stuck at $2,000 for individuals and $3,000 for couples, meaning it's an obnoxious marriage penalty. Most tax and welfare policies go double for couples. So, folks, like I said, getting from point A to point C through point B, what if you're not married? I'll just leave it at that. So I think it's a very Republican idea to change the limit, is what Portman told Huffington Post or HuffPost this week, but it's not clear when Congress might revisit the matter. House Republicans generally favor making disability benefits less generous, not more. I don't think this is a red versus blue, left versus right, Democrats versus Republicans. It doesn't matter. Two wings from the same bird, basically. They want poor people poor. They want poor people hungry, and they want more of it. And they want it to be worse than it has ever been before for a variety of reasons. We'll get into that in another video. Comment down below if you want to know. But it says here, SSI recipients can look forward to their second increased payment next week. So there's good news on the horizon, right? The payments will go out on February 1st, February 1, more than a month after beneficiaries saw their last payments on December 30. And we just discussed why. But it says that SSI beneficiaries usually receive checks on the first of the month, but some are different because of holidays or weekends. Obviously, this year payments are worth $914, an increase from last year when recipients cashed in $841 each month. Woohoo! You're rich now, right? Hardly. Now, this is because of the cost of living adjustment of 8.7%. The COLA increase is meant to help Americans battle inflation each year. It's meant to help, but it obviously doesn't really help. Think about it like that. And also, we got to talk about Gen Z and how they're going to lose their Social Security funds. We're going to talk about that in a moment. But why did I receive 2 checks in December? Okay, if you guys missed it, let me just reiterate that the Social Security Administration disperses SSI checks on the 1st of every month. And unless the first day of the month falls on a holiday or weekend, in which January 1st is a holiday or was a holiday that fell on a weekend, so the SSA sent the check out on the nearest business day, which was Friday, December 30. And Social Security and Social Security disability income recipients, on the other hand, received their first COLA increase in January. And again, will I receive a check in January for SSI? No. Since the SSI dispersed 2 SSI checks in December, SSI beneficiaries won't be receiving their checks in January. So manage those funds properly, folks. Especially Gen Zers coming up thinking about it, because Gen Zers are losing Social Security funds according to this recent update. And it says that younger generations may not be able to take advantage of Social Security benefits as much as previous generations. And a new report found that there will be 20% cut in benefits when this generation begins claiming payments. That's optimistic, folks. Optimistic. I bet you the cut will be greater than 20%. And it says that could cost future retirees up to $675,000 in benefits over a lifetime unless there are reforms. And that $675,000 is going to be a huge implication, a huge reduction when you calculate the increase of inflation by that time. That $675,000 could be $2.5 million by then, effectively, as far as your buying and purchasing power. So, question is, what happens when you turn 18? Gen Zers, pay attention, listen up. When you turn 18, Social Security will make a new decision about your disability based on the rules for adults and your ability to work. And this process is called age 18 redetermination. It is different from your initial eligibility determination. And that is because you may still be eligible for SSI when you earn money above the substantial gainful activity amount, the SGA. Plus, your disability might affect your ability to work rather than your childhood daily activities, and your parents' income and resources no longer affect your eligibility. That's a plus. So, as I was telling you guys about this, how perhaps maybe Russia will gain access to U.S. resources through the Ukraine. Think about it. I want to share this idea with you. It's called self-sovereign identity, another SSI acronym, but slightly different. And it says that self-sovereign identity, SSI, is a model for managing digital identities in which individuals or businesses have sole ownership over the ability to control their accounts and personal data. Important. What is self-sovereign identity? Well, SSI, or self-sovereign identity, is a model for managing digital identities in which individuals or businesses have sole ownership over the ability to control their accounts and personal data. Individuals with self-sovereign identity can store their data to their devices and provide it for verification and transactions without the need to rely upon a central repository of data. With self-sovereign identity, users have complete control over how their personal information is kept and used. And in all models of identity management, a digital identity requires identifiers that ensure users are who they say they are. And with self-sovereign identity, however, identifiers, they do not need an intermediary. This means a user's self-sovereign identity can be registered to a claim, such as a block on a blockchain. And then the person can then share that identifying data when making a transaction, for example, with a bank. And with self-sovereign identity, users can enter an app on their phone where their identity data is stored, then use an identification number and identity information to verify who they are. Self-sovereign identity adds security and flexibility to users and enables them the ability to share data only when they choose. Key here is only when they choose. Self-sovereign identity concepts SSI, self-sovereign identity, is made up of claims, proofs, and attestations. And a claim is an assertion of identity made by the user. Proofs are the forms of documents that act as evidence for a claim. For example, a proof could be a passport or birth certificate. And attestation or validation is when the other party validates the claim is true. Attestation can be stored in the user's device and typically machine readable. It is more secure and prevents common attacks to personal data, such as breaches. Data is more private. Users have a higher control over their own data. The process is more efficient, and users do not have to rely on identity providers that may sell and monetize their data. So we talked about this previously, where you can actually monetize selling, transferring your own data, because of that very fact there is that others are monetizing it and you're not. Okay, think about that. But what is most important is we want our data to be more private. Why? Because we don't want to grant access to the government to see our savings account, to check and see if we have any money in there, if we have any savings, or to tell them if we've been fed by someone receiving food. Okay. This is important, folks, because you have to play by the rules of the game, but you have to know how to win the game in order to survive. Otherwise, the game is only designed for you to actually lose. Think about that. Think about that. I told you guys there's a game being played that most aren't even involved with, but at the end of the day, most of the people in the world, especially these folks, these low income, poor people on these government social security supplemental income, SSI, SSDI programs, are going to lose. They're designed to lose, and they don't even have a chance of playing to win, if that makes sense. Pay attention. United States hardware wallet market analysis report 2022 to 2028 shows a massive increase in investments in hardware powered by cryptocurrencies to drive demand and growth. Now, why is this important? It's important because we're talking about SSI here, but we're talking about the self-sovereign identity SSI, okay? Think about this. Think about the story I told you about getting military aid to Ukraine and Russia. Think about that, all right? United States hardware wallet market is anticipated to grow a double-digit CAGR of 26.5%, with demand for highly transparent distributed ledger technology in the commercial sector driving market growth. Now, if you guys did not watch the video that I put up with my Ledger Nano X cold storage crypto wallet, go back and check it out, okay? Additionally, a surge in the development of new technologies throughout the digital currency or cryptocurrency market is anticipated to contribute to market growth. Also, a massive increase in investments in hardware powered by cryptocurrencies is anticipated to drive the hardware wallet market's growth as well. Moreover, government programs to formally implement and regulate cryptocurrency systems in the commercial sector are also emerging. They are wise. They are paying attention, okay? So we got to stay ahead of them. The United States is leading the way in establishing a legal and regulatory framework for managing cryptocurrencies nationwide. XRP, Ripple, the SEC. Pay attention, folks. Which is also anticipated to present a sizable opportunity for the expansion of the hardware wallet market in this country. Like I said, the cold storage wallet that I made a video on, Ledger Nano X. Check it out. Now, a hardware wallet is one of the critical components of a blockchain database designed to store a user's private keys in a secure wallet. This wallet is immune to computer viruses that steal your coins and crypto information. And increased cryptocurrency investments, i.e. savings vehicles or ways of producing savings, investment in cryptocurrencies has increased as a result of the sudden rise in Bitcoin's value. And due to the massive adoption of cryptocurrencies by important players like PayPal and Xbox, Bitcoin is the most valuable cryptocurrency with a market value of billions of dollars. Now, why is this important? I'm going to tell you why. It says that in addition, the second largest cryptocurrency, Ethereum, has increased by 750% since 2020. And as a result, the increased demand for cryptocurrencies is driving the market for hardware wallets, which allow traders to keep their keys safely while still protecting their personal data. And these elements taken together are expected to present profitable chances for the hardware wallet expansion in the upcoming years. And the rise for focus on security. Users are embracing the technology since it offers security for managing private keys. The need for hardware wallets is anticipated to increase over the future years due to greater security awareness and proper security key storage practices. Additionally, 66.3% of remote cyber attacks are considered to be the most dominant factors when it comes to the biggest perceived attacks in crypto, and this is according to Trezor. Now, a hardware wallet's main goal has always been to safeguard users and their money from malware, assaults, computer viruses, and other remote threats. Think about that. Remote threats. The remote threat of someone asking to see your savings account to know if you have any money in savings, while also preventing you and blocking you from having increased savings over $2,000 or $3,000, single or married, to $10,000 or $20,000. And also, by the way, they want to know if anybody's giving you any food to eat. Okay, they want you to starve. Now, as a result, cold storage, that is keeping Bitcoin values in a hardware wallet, is the recommended method for protecting a Bitcoin wallet because it is less vulnerable to hacking, hence driving the growth of the United States hardware wallet market. If you guys want to know more about these cold storage ledgers, the cold storage cryptocurrency wallets, Ledger, NanoX, other companies, please let me know. Drop a comment. And it says that regulations against cryptocurrencies in the U.S., the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS, now mandates that declaration of profits derived from virtual currency, and the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, has defined Bitcoin to be a commodity. And the market for hardware wallets is anticipated to be constrained given the rules already in place against cryptocurrencies, hence hindering the growth of United States hardware wallet markets. Now, this isn't going to always be the case. The major market players include Archos SA under the category cryptocurrencies hardware wallets provides Archos Safety Mini, Archos Safety Touch as hardware wallets, and Ledger SAS offers hardware wallets as Ledger Nano X. That's the one I showed you guys, Ledger Nano S. And Satoshi Labs Group as AS offers Trezor is a brand by the company which has the Model 1 and Model T devices as hardware wallets. KeepKey LLC provides hardware wallet for cryptocurrencies that supports over 40 different crypto assets, and SecuX Technology Inc. provides V20 hardware wallets. The CoolBitX Technology Limited segment developed and offers hardware wallets under the brand name Cool Wallet for consumer markets, as well as complete KYC solutions for virtual asset services providers or VASPs. And folks, recent developments here that we all need to be paying attention to is that, and as of December 2021, in order to offer its consumers a completely new degree of protection, Ledger collaborated with Samsung, a major player in the consumer electronics industry, to connect its smartphone Bitcoin wallet to Ledger storage devices. Also, market dynamics include the drivers increasing investments in cryptocurrency-based devices, technological developments to strengthening hardware wallet security, and transparency within distributed ledger technology. Okay, this is huge, folks. Now, if you got questions, I understand, it makes sense. If you want to know more, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, comment down below so I know you guys are interested, because in my opinion, this is going to be a huge driving force of getting out from under this government thumb, if you know what I mean. Challenges include the lack of customer awareness about trading cryptocurrency, and also government regulation against cryptocurrency. And that's why I'm sharing this with you guys, folks, because I can see the writing on the wall and what they have been doing and what they're possibly potentially likely to continue doing in the future. And it means, in my opinion, grave danger for the folks out there relying on these programs that are also keeping them down, limiting them, making sure that they remain poor and hungry. Remember, they want access to your bank accounts to see how little you have in savings and make sure you stay broke, make sure you stay poor. But they also want to know if anybody's giving you any food. Meanwhile, major players including Satoshi Labs, Archos, Ledger, KeepKey, NerdWallet, Elipal, SecuX Technology, Yancey, HK Limited, Exodus Movement, Coolbitix technology. There's several more, and I'll go over these more in future videos if you guys have any interest. But at the end of the day, folks, please be aware, understand the real immediate dangers and threats that are being proposed and forced upon many Americans, many hardworking, working class, poor, soon to be wiped out economically and financially wiped out middle class, forced on by the government that is continuously sending hundreds of billions of dollars to other countries that could wind up in the hands of perhaps enemies during these times of conflict and war and aggression. And everyone's missing the big picture. Everyone's not focusing on the major problem at hand. Meanwhile, the folks here who pay taxes, who are citizens of this country, who proudly, hoist the flag, get bent over. Forced down, held back. They want you poor. They want you hungry. There's not enough bipartisan support to raise the savings limit. Even if they did, there's no way for you to actually save, because this, the supplemental stimulus, little government subsidy income check is not enough. It's not enough. I can't even say it's barely enough. It's not enough. So I encourage you folks to do more, to do better, to make more money, rise up above these programs to the point of which your income exceeds the benefit amount. So we're not worried about losing it. However, at the same time, thinking about strategic ways that you too can win at the game from both sides. That makes sense. If you guys got questions, let me know. Hit me up, drop a comment. Please give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video with anybody you think it will be helpful and beneficial to help them in their particular situation. I will bring you guys more information and more updates very, very soon. You guys take care. Be safe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.